Houston, the last time they were in the Final Four, 1968. And we're underway as Perkins goes up against Misha. And coming down with it is Houston. And Michael Young, who was ill yesterday, had a 102-degree temperature. This is Rob Williams, the MVP in the Midwest region, a junior All-Southwest Conference pick. This is Young, the man that we mentioned, who was ill. Lyndon Rose, the quarterback of the ball club, rejected that time. Houston will face all afternoon long is trying to get that ball inside. Michael Jordan, the young freshman of Carolina's on the board.
Here Carolina coming out as they have in all their regional games, straight man-to-man, and it's Jimmy Black playing against Rob Williams. That'll be an important matchup early in the game.
North Carolina, their 7th trip to the Final Four under Dean Smith. They've never won it. They have been in the championship game 3 times. Left-handed shot by Young. Here comes Jordan again. He had 15 points for that one over Villanova in the East Region Final. Houston defeated Boston College in the Midwest Final, and Perkins hits that left-hand jump hook.
The show cannot afford to let Sam Perkins get down and low and operate on him. Although Perkins listed at 6'9", and so is Michaud, Perkins is considerably bigger.
Here is Lyndon Rose. He played his high school ball in Miami from the Bahamas. Young misses again, and for a guy that was not feeling well, he's putting the ball up a lot. Matt Doherty, beautiful pass, broken up. It's out of bounds off of the Houston Cougars.
You've got a very experienced team going up against Houston right now in Carolina, and Houston has to get their second breath here very quickly before they get blown out early. Guy Lewis has to be concerned about a timeout possibility.
Perkins and North Carolina now is 3 of 3 from the field.
Got to be very careful. With this young club on the floor, the game can get away from you right off the bat. Carolina's picking up again, man-to-man.
Guy Lewis, his 26th year. If he would win today, it would be the 500th coaching victory of an outstanding career.
I look for Rob Williams to take it one-on-one. There he is.
Doesn't go. We're going to have a foul. Drexler reaching in, trying to get it away from Sam Perkins.
Things getting away from Houston very early here. You knew Williams was going to try to get him on the board with a one-on-one move. And he'll find, playing against North Carolina, he won't find one-on-one matchups often.
Amazing thing about this, they beat Tulsa in Tulsa. They beat Missouri and St. Louis, which was really not neutral courts, but they were able to do it. North Carolina, a real struggle with James Madison, and then Alabama and Villanova fell before him as they head here.
Houston matching up out of his zone right now.
Here is Doherty, who's played so well. Jordan again, the freshman looking for his 3rd and 4th points. Misha rips it down. Misha, they list him at 6'9". He probably goes under that. And Perkins, who they list at 6'9", is probably taller than that. Here is Young, Michael Young from Houston, 4 of the 5 starters from Houston, about 5 miles from the college campus. A foul on Doherty, reaching in on the drive inside.
See, most of what Houston is getting right now is a one-on-one type play. Not a lot of ball handling, not everybody getting involved in the offense. Tough to score in this kind of a situation. Here's Doherty on the reach-in right there. He was called for a foul. Almost a phantom foul right there, but a good drive that time.
Change. Brian Williams, number 55, is checked in. They got Young out of there. He may not be feeling very well after being sick yesterday. Broken up. That was Jordan reaching in, and another foul. It's on the man who just checked in, Brian Williams.
North Carolina goes to their zone trap on the out-of-bounds situation. Houston not able to get themselves uncranked right now. I think if they can settle down, get themselves into the ball game a little bit, they'll be all right. But right now they stand a chance of getting in a blowout situation.
And right now, Billy, they're 0 for 4 from the field. North Carolina's hit 3 of their 4 shots. Doherty into Perkins. Back to Matt Doherty. He does things that doesn't show up in the box score. To Black, who's been in 102 victories since he's been in North Carolina. That's the most by any Tar Heel.
This is a 2-3 zone with Houston trying to match up after North Carolina takes their position.
There's Doherty. Has great vision on the floor. Here's the ACC Rookie of the Year, and Misha comes down with it.
Great defensive job by Misha that time. He made Jordan really alter his shot.
Here is Rose, off to Williams. Williams, 17th in the NCAA scoring list. Rose from outside. That's a long shot for him. Perkins to the board.
Not the kind of shot you want in this situation. Beautiful feed.
Boy, did Worthy save that beautifully. Got it off to Jordan.
I think Houston needs the timeout. They're going to take one.
As well they should. They find themselves trailing 8-0. It's 16:44 remaining in this first half. North Carolina, who's never won at all, starting off very impressively here. North Carolina's hit 4 of 6. Houston 0 for 5, trailing 8-0. This is Williams, a junior, out of the Houston area. Off to Rose, and they've thrown it away. That's already 2 turnovers. Here's Worthy. Look at his ball handling ability to Black. Back it goes to Worthy.
There's that half-court trap by North Carolina. Now, they're a tough team to come from behind against because they throw so many different defensive looks. Houston has not gotten into half-court offense yet.
They're still looking for their first points, and that's not going to do it. Jordan tips it away. We're going to have a foul. Wait a minute, it's going to go off of Jordan.
Gary, what I think's happening to Houston right now is they have no half-court offense. They're a little bit unnerved. They've got to move the ball around a little bit. It's been 1 pass and a shot, or 1 pass and a one-on-one move.
Nice pass by Drexler, broken up though. Williams with a quick hands. He's stripped with the ball. What a job by Jimmy Black. We have a held ball. It will go to North Carolina. The alternating held ball will go to the Tar Heels, and everything's going to them right now.
Here we see the plays on the inside. Just no place for Williams to go. A beautiful stripping of the ball by Black. North Carolina did have the arrow, so they take over, and they're going up against this zone again.
Jimmy Black, over 500 assists in his career, second only to a man by the name of Phil Ford. What a job he did for Dean Smith. Carolina with good patience now. Off to Black. Black hit 10 of 12 in that East region, broken up. Look at the quickness of this ball club. Jordan again.
Well, everything going North Carolina's way right now. Rob Williams tried to go ahead and start on the break. The ball was tipped again, so I think this is a very key possession for Houston. They have got to go ahead and get in an offensive structure.
Jordan has 6 of Carolina's 12 points, and look at that, 6 of 8 from the field. They still can't go any ground.
Terrible shot selection.
North Carolina was here last year. They lost in the finals to Indiana. It was 68 since Houston's been here. That was the days of Elvin Hayes. Perkins again, and they've blitzed them now 14-0.
Can't say it enough, Gary. When you get down like this against a team from Carolina, you've got to move the ball a number of times as opposed to just coming down and firing up jump shots.
This is a tough shot, and Drexler hit a remarkable shot that time, off balance and all, but they may get him going. Clyde Drexler, an all-Southwest Conference pick.
Change of defenses again by Houston, picking up in a half-court trap.
Here you see Worthy. Look at his ball handling ability. Mishaw with a rebound. Up it comes to Rose. Lyndon Rose. Sometimes he'll take over if Williams is not hitting, and he took over there, didn't he?
Maybe Drexler's shot settled him down a little bit.
So they come back with 4 unanswered points, cut it to 10.
Here's the half-court trap again. North Carolina, pretty patient team.
Boy, what poise they have. They have only 1 senior in the lineup. That's the first turnover of the game against the Tar Heels. Here comes Williams. He loves to shoot from outside. He's got great range. Rose is taking over now for Houston, but Perkins takes over the rebound. That's 3 rebounds already for Sam Perkins. Doherty, they're in a little bit of a pickup tempo now. It's playing to the advantage of Houston. They love to run the ball. Rose, remarkable shot. 4 points for Lyndon Rose. Now 6 straight points for this Houston team. 13:47 to go, the first half. 40.
Half-court trap, doing a good job right now for Houston, but when it opens it up like that, there's nobody there to block out of Sam Perkins.
Perkins with 8 points. Guy Lewis very concerned about his team.
He's wanting a push-off call against Perkins on that play. North Carolina's back now to the man-to-man.
Perkins, those long arms, plays like he's 7'2". Drexler, that's a tough shot. Couldn't pull it off. Here comes Worthy. Look at him handle the ball at 6'9".
He'll take it.
Oh!
Well, that silenced the crowd in a hurry. If you're rooting for Houston, North Carolina fans loving it. The North Carolina players are a little tired right now.
Well, they're trying to get some people in earlier. There's the shot tipped up. Mishaw will get credit for that. A foul over the back.
What I think is that they've got one of those moments where they're not so tired physically, they're tired emotionally, and a couple of guys motioning to come out right now.
Well, they've got 3 men getting ready to come into the ball game to show what you're talking about. Jordan, who started them out, doesn't get that one. Rebound, here comes Drexler at 6'6", a young sophomore intended for Williams. Broken up, it's going to be off Houston. Matt Doherty that time doing a good job defensively.
Here comes James Worthy. Now, since Magic Johnson, James about the only guy I've seen in college basketball that can rebound it on one end and take it the length of the floor for a stuff on the other. It's an important ingredient to Carolina's offense, and both teams going to the subs a little bit now.
That's right. Buzz Peterson has checked in. Chris Brust is also checked in. And the big man in the middle, Akeem Abdul-Olajuwon, who's 7 foot from Lagos, Nigeria, has come in at the pivot spot. Here is Peterson. He's a freshman from Asheville, North Carolina. Brust, a big 6'9" senior. Look at the ball movement. Blocked by Olajuwon. Olajuwon, that's his forte. The foul is going to go on Brust of North Carolina.
He came from about 5 feet away from Matt Doherty. Normally you get that jumper off. Excellent defensive play by Olajuwon.
Brust out of Babylon, New York, the senior. Olajuwon, when he came to Houston, put down on his resume he would average 8 or 9 blocks a game. Well, he hasn't done that, but he has certainly made his presence felt.
He's getting open pretty well in the pivot.
There's Rose inside. Nice play. Drexler able to get it to drop.
Here we are. We're seeing the deployment of this 1-3-1 trap now by Houston. So far, they've done a fine job. North Carolina hadn't really attacked it inside that much.
There's the foul on Drexler. We understand we're experiencing some audio and video technical difficulties, and we'll get those cleared up just as soon as possible as we have 11:39 to go in this first half. 18-10. North Carolina's Worthy comes back in.
Now with the starters coming back in, if Houston stays in the 1-3-1, I'd expect North Carolina to make them chase that ball a little bit as opposed to trying to tack down the sidelines. It's a kind of a defense that goes for the steal, but it's very difficult to stay in if a team starts to throw the ball around the court or something.
Coming in for Houston is going to be Eric Davis. Davis, a senior. They call him the general because he is the head of their cavalry, which is the bench. They call them the cavalry, and they've named him the general. Right now, Doherty will inbounds the ball. Houston, with Drexler picking up his second personal foul, he's trying to play tough inside. They can ill afford to get him out of there on foul difficulty.
Okay, the defense now goes back to the 2-3.
Here's Jimmy Braddock. Braddock, a junior out of Chattanooga. Perkins, this is where they're tough, Billy. They get a little lead on you, and they'll have some patience and move it around.
Very experienced team.
Back out to Braddock. Davis is in the game to chase. He's number 13. Fine defensive player. There he is putting pressure on Doherty, and it comes back out to Braddock. Braddock one time hit 257 straight free throws in practice. Shows you his shooting ability. Worthy. Peterson, the player of the year last year in high school in North Carolina. Look at them move the ball around.
Well, Davis is going from one side of the court to the other. He's putting on a show, but North Carolina is moving that ball as you would expect.
There's that jump hook by Perkins. Olajuwon. He's made a difference, hasn't he?
Excellent defensive play. That's 2 in a row for him. Houston's starting to get some confidence now.
Remember, he's had only 3 years of organized ball, but surprisingly, the man that's guarding him, Perkins, has had only 4, and here they are playing in the Final Four. Rob Williams, nice pass to Misha, and that'll count, and he's fouled.
Braddock is no match for Williams in a 1-on-1 situation. Braddock would have to get some help. Williams went right by him. And there aren't many fellas that can handle this guy 1-on-1. Great pass. Everybody knows about his scoring. Not many people realize what a tremendous assist man is Rob Williams. He's got 132 on the year. That makes 33.
At the line, Misha with 4 points. That was the first foul on Perkins. 3rd team foul on North Carolina. Misha now makes it an 18-13 game. They're climbing back in it.
Nice job.
Misha going for the steal, and he's in front of us in the bench area. Off it comes to Drexler. Great effort by Misha that time.
How many times do you see a team blow open that big lead early and then start to coast? The other club gets their confidence, and Houston doing a great job coming back.
Drexler had to change his shot, a foul. It's going to go on Michael Jordan. Again, they're really kicking that ball off well, Billy, when they don't have the open shot.
Guards Rob Williams, particularly Williams, are doing an excellent job penetrating against North Carolina, and then when the trap takes place, they're dishing off.
First foul on Michael Jordan, substitution. Peterson coming back in. They continue to filter people back and forth. Doherty will get a breather.
When Peterson comes in for Doherty, then Jordan slides up to the forward position.
10-13 to go, first half. First of 2 semifinal games here in this tourney. Over 61,000 on hand for this one.
Now North Carolina back in a 2-3 zone of their own.
Second game coming up, Georgetown against Louisville. That's off of Houston. That is 5 turnovers now against the Cougars.
Olajuwon does have good hands, but he had trouble with that one right there. A little lack of concentration on the catch.
Hakeem was a soccer player in Nigeria. In fact, we saw him yesterday dribbling the basketball with his feet. We'll be back.
Well, they did an excellent job of Guy Lewis coming out in that 1-3-1 trap of theirs. And let's see if North Carolina stops trying to attack it and just makes these guys do a little bit of chasing. Here comes the trap right now. Davis waiting for the double team.
Oh, Davis quick, but he comes away with a foul this time. Davis out of Chicago, Illinois. He played at Casper, Wyoming Junior College. He had his shoulder dislocated in a practice last week. Olajuwon ran into him. He's a hunk of a man, but Davis is back and healthy. That's the 14th foul, the first on Davis. Peterson was hurt early in the year, slowed his progress, but he's played well down the stretch and seen a lot of time off that bench. Jimmy Black, the captain, who wants to win it so bad for Dean Smith. He says it's added incentive for the Tar Heels. Another foul, and Davis has picked up another one.
Well, he's going to be in real trouble foul-wise because he's using his chest and using his hands to try to steal every ball out there. With his quickness, he can just play position defense and not get in those problems.
That's 5 team fouls. There's Guy Lewis. That's his last towel, by the way. He bought 2 dozen of them. They quit making him, and he's run down now to his last. We're going to have to help him out.
Well, there's that record, 18-15 in NCAA play, but he's going for number 500 today, which is quite an accomplishment, all in one school. Look at this.
Backdoor to Perkins. That was Jimmy Black.
Set play, Sam Perkins and Black with the eye contact on the baseline.
Now you know why Black has over 500 assists. Just plays exactly like that. Williams out to Davis. Davis playing in place of Lyndon Rose. He's not that kind of shooter, but he hit it. Didn't have any arch on it, did he?
He actually was looking to pass the ball when he went up in the air. Pretty gifted athlete.
He's only averaging 1.7 a game, but he'll take it. And it's 20-15, 5-point lead for Carolina. Again, they handle the pressure very well. James Worthy out of Gastonia. We'll have another Gastonia player in the second game, Sleepy Floyd of Georgetown. Here is Black again, and he can shoot the ball, Billy.
Now North Carolina is adjusting to the defense that Houston has played, and this game will ebb and flow a little bit here as 2 teams making adjustments on each other.
Remember, Black in that East region hit 10 of 12 from the field in 2 games. He's not known for that shooting. Williams is not hitting right now.
Amazing how Houston was going inside with the penetration. Now they just go back to taking the bombs that they did early in the game.
That's Black again. Rebound. Fought for. Olajuwon rips it down. It's hard to believe this guy's only played 3 years. Saved nicely by Davis. Here's Olajuwon. He's going to dribble it now.
Well, he doesn't have the game experience, but he sure has all the physical tools to be a great player.
His dad owned a cement-making machine, a very, very well-to-do man in the Nigeria area, a very cosmopolitan area, and he's come in and adapted very well. Nice shot by Drexler.
Houston really making some tough shots. It was interesting to watch Jimmy Black on Williams that time. He's given him the baseline. I bet you Williams will come down and take one the next time down the floor.
Black almost palmed the ball that time. 7:46 to go. First half, 22-17, North Carolina. 14 wins in a row. They lost only twice, losing to Virginia and Wake Forest. And we're going to have a traveling call. That's the 3rd turnover against North Carolina.
Worthy lost it on the dribble that time, hit him in the chest. He's looking to wheel inside. Very difficult to handle in the middle.
Worthy, the MVP in the East region. Also the most valuable player in the ACC tourney is Doherty. Number 44 checks back in for Carolina at the 7:36 mark. For a guy that didn't use his bench very much, Billy, he's really done that in this NCAA tournament play.
Well, he's given everybody a blow early. Great catch by Michaud.
Michaud walked to the ball. That will not count. Michaud that time having a difficult time. And coming into the ball game again will be Michael Young. Young went out after missing a couple of shots early. A sophomore out of Houston who has really been making the big plays this year. High above, you look at the Superdome floor.
And there's that 2-3 defense. Now with Davis out of the ball game and Young back in, it won't be quite as aggressive, but it has a lot more size out there.
Lyndon Rose, 0-0, also out there now. Very fine defensive player, replacing Davis. Into Big Worthy. Look how they see the floor, Billy. They always seemingly see the open man. Jordan having some difficulty. Now with the patience and 7 minutes to go, first half. Into Worthy. Tough shot.
James Worthy loves to make the fake as he catches that ball inside. It really freezes the defense in the middle.
An explosive, powerful man, but yet with great finesse, and there he goes for the steal. Young had just checked in. He's 0 for 3 from the field. Perkins dribbled it off his foot. And coming up with it is Young. He needs some help. And a hell ball, and the hell ball will go to Houston this time.
Smart play by Young. With his team having the arrow, there was no sense trying to make a great play right there.
You can see the arrow pointing towards Houston. Guy Lewis glad to come out of that with the basketball at the 6:35 mark. There he is, Dean Smith, the finest record he's had at Carolina this year, 30-2. Misha.
Point out on that rule also, since Young did not have the ball when he fell down, he could occupy that ball as long as he's not trying to gain an advantage. Where the walk-in violation is called is when he has it in his hand and then falls down.
You see the time remaining until our halftime. After trailing by 14, Houston has clawed and scratched their way back into this game. High steal attempt by Misha, almost committing the foul. Perkins against Olajuwon, it's blocked, but he made body contact.
Beautiful head and body fake by Sam Perkins. Olajuwon did a good job defensively, but got him with the body. Now watch this feed inside. Nice dump pass. There's the ball and head and shoulder fake. Olajuwon goes right with it. He does get the ball, but he hits him with his shoulder.
Olajuwon was 69 block shots this year. Perkins already with 10 points and 4 rebounds. Out of Latham, New York. Remember, only 4 years of organized basketball for him, so he and Olajuwon, that might be some kind of a record.
I was talking to Frank McGuire last night in the Louis Corner second. They talked about Sam Perkins. They said maybe 4 years of organized ball, but the kid grew up in the Brooklyn playgrounds, and he said he had a lot of playing time before he ever went to Latham, New York.
Some of that streetwise basketball that they have in that New York area. 12 points now for Perkins, 26-19. Misha, fake worthy up beautifully that time. Nice play by Larry Misha. He's kind of a cool customer, isn't he? Big, strong guy.
He really is. He did not panic in there with a man coming in behind him.
It's a 5-point lead again for North Carolina. Look at Misha hustle on defense. Doherty off to Perkins. Again, they whip it around, and they're really giving the zone all at once. Doherty has the shot. He didn't even start last year for North Carolina, but he averaged over 9 points a game in tournament play. And as a sophomore this year, starting. Black, that's a tough catch to make. Off to Perkins.
Sam Perkins can maneuver on that baseline, can go out as far as 18 feet or so to take the jumper, which really makes it tough, particularly at his size.
He now is at his seasonal average. 14 points already and 5 minutes to go in this first half. Rose, what a move by Lyndon Rose.
Sensational play by Rose. He did not realize that the man was coming on the blind side to trap him and had such quickness to get by.
Boy, Perkins is mad. He thought there should have been a charging foul.
He'll get some help. Here we go. Great play on the inside. 0-0, laying it up. I think a pretty good no call in that case, and a great individual play by Rose.
Perkins doesn't show a lot of emotion, but he did that time as he was decked on that drive by Rose. 4.5 to go, first half. Reach in by Drexler, but Perkins comes out with it. Doherty. Now Jimmy Black, the stabilizer, brings it out to Doherty. Doherty out of East Meadow, New York. And Black reset it. What a passer this guy is. Doherty again looking. I got to give credit to Houston. They're playing some pretty tough defense.
Oh, they're playing very hard out there and trying to steal every pass that's made.
There's the steal. Olajuwon. Amazing quickness. 28-23. 4 minutes to go first half. Rose handling the ball expertly. Brings it out to Young.
Remember, Rob Williams has been on this bench for a while.
You know, when he goes out, they feel that they move the ball in better. And this is one of the reasons right here is Rose. They cut the range down, try to work for the percentage shot. There's a turnover. Perkins coming up with it. 3:41. Doherty blocked by Misha. Misha has been a stellar performer in this first half.
Sensational defensive play because Olajuwon and a few of the other Houston Cougars were not getting back on defense. That was a great play. He's setting big screens now.
Boy, he sets a big one, too. A lot of obstacle to move around. Olajuwon, good poise. A man who's a sophomore, but really playing his first year of major college basketball. His first 2, and now it's 28-25. Carolina, there's Black, encouraging his teammates on.
Excellent comeback by Houston, and that timeout that Guy Lewis called to get them organized, his change of defensive strategy has really helped them in this first half.
They trailed by 14 early. They couldn't get anything to go down for it, but they did not lose their poise. Jordan wide open. There's Olajuwon, and since he's been in there, they're not getting any multiple shots.
One of the things Houston doing, too, they're really cutting off Worthy right in the center of that zone.
Rose. Off it goes to Misha. Misha will kick it back out to Rose. Rose had a brother that played at Houston in 74 through 78. Out of control is Drexler. He threw it away.
Big turnover there, and now we're going to see Williams coming back in. Young going to sit.
Rob Williams checks in. We're going to check out for a while. We have a timeout. 2 minutes, 32 seconds to go, first half. Louisville against Georgetown in our second semifinal contest. Houston, after missing their first 7 shots, Billy, have now hit 12 of their last 17, and that's the reason they climbed within 3.
Here they are again, jumping out, and I think what's brought them back is this outstanding trapping defense.
Well, there was pressure on Jimmy Braddock, who's checked in during that timeout break. Jordan intercepted by Drexler. They can cut it to 1. Rob Williams, it's not going to go, but a foul on Jimmy Black. Good defensive effort by Black.
Black did a good job getting back, but Williams showed you what a gifted athlete he is, just getting that shot off.
Doherty will check in. Braddock will check out. First foul on Black.
Here we see the steal. Long pass. Look at the catch. Concentrated all the way. Jimmy Black coming behind. I don't know if he ever got a piece of him or not.
Thus far, Rob Williams hasn't scored in this game. Billy really has a funny spin on his ball when he shoots it.
Most great scorers, of course, have a nice rotation on the ball. Rob Williams has one of the most unusual I've seen from a guy that is a top-notch scorer.
It's a 1-point game. 28-27 Carolina. Remember, they led by 14 in the early going. Off to Jordan. To Perkins. You got to give a lot of credit to Houston. They were not awestruck after coming from behind here. There's a foul. Elijah reaching in. I don't know.
That looked like a great block. I think Olajuwon and Mishaw both had a nice piece of that ball. Jimmy Black, only 6'2", took it right into the big guys and a nice bounce pass. We'll see it right here. Well, I think they got that ball on that play.
Black at the line. He has 4 assists in this game and 2 points.
One of the keys for Carolina has been good foul shooting. Let's see it right here. Boy, I think that was a great block. He almost scooped that away with one hand.
Boy, was that intimidating. Now North Carolina 3 of 4 from the free throw line. Less than 2 to go. First half. 2-point lead for North Carolina. The winner to play the winner of Louisville and Georgetown to follow. Here's Williams. Nice pass to Drexler to Mishaw. They spread him out for the first time.
Rob Williams, nice patience out there. Houston really feels comfortable on the court right now.
And we're all even 29-all. What a comeback by the Houston Cougars of the Southwest Conference. Boy, that Southwest Conference really was quite a conference this year. Baseline. Jordan. Olajuwon was up and intimidated him. Look at him try to save it. It'll be off to the Cougars. North Carolina will have it in a minute 24.
One of the things that has to concern Dean Smith right now, I'm sure, is that James Worthy has been taken out of the offense with this half-court trapping 1-3-1.
The man known as Akeem the Dream that time, doing it all. But North Carolina has another opportunity. 1:20 left in the first half. They are tied up 29-all.
Psychologically, this has to be pretty tough for North Carolina, too. You figure, oh, we've got an easy game. All of a sudden, you're in trouble.
And they are. Follow the count. Worthy pushing off on the follow shot.
Excellent call. James Worthy going over the back.
Billy, since Olajuwon's come in there, it's been a different ball game.
There's Worthy coming over the back. Mishaw again in his silent way doing a very good job. Had good block out position and rebounding position.
Houston has outscored North Carolina 29-15 since they trailed 14-0. And it's all even now. Less than a minute to go. First half. Drexler changed his shot, and Olajuwon about took the goal down with him. A foul will go. It's going to go on Drexler.
There again is that game experience. Olajuwon just so full of himself going after that rebound. Had an opportunity to be relaxed, grab the ball, and stuff it through. Watch him come through here.
Good afternoon.
He is some kind of athlete, isn't he?
They did call it on Akeem. Akeem committing the personal foul. And already that's 3 personal fouls on him. Boy, he picked those up in a hurry, didn't he? I don't remember all those.
Well, now you get into that team foul situation. North Carolina in the playoffs. Really done a great job staying out of foul trouble and getting the other team in such.
Speaking of great jobs, 14 points, 5 rebounds for Sam Perkins. He has met the challenge and then some. All right, Lewis. Only one of 2 coaches in the history of Houston. Isn't that amazing? He's been there 26 years, a 60-year-old man. He celebrated his birthday with a win over Missouri in the Midwest region.
There's a good pass.
Williams can't handle it.
It was there. Now, you've got to think about the situation. 51 seconds to go. You're down 2. It was an excellent pass physically, but mentally, it's the kind of pass gets you in trouble because I'm sure Carolina will hold it for the last shot here.
You see the time left, 31-29. And you're exactly right. You could see Black go into that delay game instantly. His expression even changed. Doherty, this might be a tough team to put them all away against, though. They're very quick.
One of the things this does is, of course, change that 1-3-1 defense a little bit because it's hard to chase a 4 corners with a 1-3-1.
Here's Williams trying to give chase to Black. Lyndon Rose going for the steal. You see the time. They're going to have to start to move in now to their game. Here's Black. Is charging. No basket. Charging on Jimmy Black.
That was just an absolutely great play by Young that time. There was nothing he could do. If he tried to challenge Black, he was in trouble. Now watch it. Jimmy Black has an open road to the basket. Young just holds his ground. After the pass, draws the charge. Perkins would have had an easy 2. Good defensive play.
Young didn't feel very good yesterday. I don't think he'll feel very good after that either. He really got decked on the play.
And he goes to the foul line.
That is Braddock checking in to North Carolina. 10 seconds left in the first half. A good look at Michael Young.
Here, I might be wrong, but this is the first time that I can remember in the playoffs, certainly in the Alabama game as well as the game against Villanova, that North Carolina allowed the other team to shoot a 1-on-1 foul.
They stayed out of that foul difficulty. Remember all the trouble Alabama was in, and they didn't get in it at all. That's a free throw that Houston would like to have back. Perkins.
He had a lot more time than he thought.
Young kept it out of the backboard area, and that's going to end our first half of play here at the Superdome. North Carolina with a 31-29 lead as Dean Smith will regroup his forces. CBS Sports coverage of the 1982 NCAA Basketball Championship will continue after this work.
Production from their bench.
Ready to go in the second half. North Carolina will inbounds a ball. 2-point game. The winner of this to meet the winner of Louisville and Georgetown. A game to follow here from the Superdome.
Don't be surprised to see North Carolina work on getting Worthy the ball early here in the second half.
Look how they give the pressure to Doherty. Michael Jordan, who started him well in the first half, starts him in the second. They have a whistle because there was some defensive interference, but the basket was going in anyway, and Michael Jordan now has 8 points in the game.
There's that hesitation jumper by that kid. He's got that ability to just hang up there in the air and then double pump to get the shot off. 1-3-1 trap by North Carolina.
Jordan hit 3 of 8 in that first half, hitting his 4th field goal. Starting the second half was Brian Williams, and he misses. He's a young man from El Camino Junior College in California. He came in briefly in that first half. Doherty, as we just start the second half, off to Jordan. Jordan, the quickness, broken up by Williams. Perkins brings it back out, and he threw it backcourt. Houston will have it.
You don't see North Carolina coming up with this sloppy of ball handling. Jerry, one of the reasons for that, I think, might have been that big lead they had early in the game. All of a sudden, you lose your concentration.
Lose some of that momentum, huh? 7 turnovers now against North Carolina.
Here's the man-to-man.
Lyndon Rose. See how he's trapped immediately by Perkins and Jordan. Out to Drexler. Drexler, open shot. They don't get it, and Perkins has yet another rebound. In the first half, he had 6.
North Carolina not looking to break that time.
Bring it out to Black. They'll start everything offensively with the senior from the Bronx in New York. Letterman steals and assists. Jordan to Perkins. Perkins in that first half hit 6 of 8 from the field. Here is Worthy. Beautiful pass to Doherty. Overpassed it maybe. Perkins.
One pass too many and only Perkins' great shot. Able North Carolina to score there.
Now, with that, Perkins is only 1 point below his tourney best. He had 19 points against Pittsburgh last year.
Good double team. Mishaw comes back and does a good job. He's a very quiet player, but he's not doing many things wrong out here today.
He has been very surprising. Kind of a blue-collar guy inside. Lyndon Rose, that's what he'll do. When Williams is not hitting, Billy, Rose will take over and start moving the ball inside.
Kind of surprised that Houston hasn't gone on in there to Rob Williams a little bit to get him on track here in the second half.
You saw that panoramic view of this outstanding crowd of over 61,000. Doherty fouled from behind by Rose. Oh, he got his money's worth on that one.
That's a good foul. The guy's got the wide open shot, you might as well let him have it. Make sure he doesn't get the three.
That's the first on this man, Rose.
Doherty, I think on this play, was looking for Worthy inside for the dump. Goes up for the shot. Pretty good concentration, and there was the foul. Almost took his head off. I want to say something, Gary. This is like playing outdoors. And I was out here watching a kid shoot yesterday. One big difference, and I happened to think of it in regard to perspective. I said, you know, kids are used to playing outdoors in the summertime. You know what the difference is? There's a glass backboard here. When you play outdoors, you have good depth because you have usually a wooden or a metal backboard.
Doherty finally gets on the scoreboard. That's his first point of the ball game. 36-31, 5-point lead by Carolina. Here's Rob Williams, only 2 points, and both of those coming from the free throw line.
Now North Carolina back in the zone. Williams is showing good patience. He's not trying to do it all at once.
Here's Rob Williams looking for his first field goal. It's just not going to come. Williams has it batted away. Boy, the quick hands of North Carolina self-evident again. Nice steal attempt by Rose. Look at Worthy, but he throws it away. Off to Williams. Rose, 2-on-2. Rose will take it in. No basket. He's called for charging.
Jimmy Black did to Rose the same thing that we saw late in the first half. Draw the charge rather than trying to go for the steal. Good play.
Good afternoon.
Rose going to show you here what a gifted athlete he is. Had a terrific tournament in the regionals. Watch him come in here, take the ball one hand, a la James Worthy. Good play by Jimmy Black setting himself.
Boy, you got to have some courage to take a charge like that, and Black did. Rose committing the personal foul. That is his second. North Carolina's Matt Doherty, who was scoreless in the first half, makes it a 38-31 game.
You know what's starting to happen now? North Carolina getting production from everybody as they did in their regional.
They had all their starting five in double figures in that win against Villanova. Here's the key, though. Rob Williams, who passed off, still hasn't found the range, and he's been averaging over 21 points a game. There he is again. He's got to find something. Nice pass to Drexler.
Fine play by Williams. Penetrated against North Carolina's 1-3-1 zone that is now dropped back inside the foul line.
Rob Williams led the Southwest Conference in assists the last 2 years, and there was a good play showing why. Worthy. Go Jordan, he can't handle it. And out of there comes Drexler. Drexler handling the ball well. Rose, Perkins is back. Perkins challenged him, but he shot it over him. That's a tough shot. He's in double figures with 10 points. It's back to a three-point game again.
Houston doing a nice job taking North Carolina out of the things that they want to do.
Where they maybe a little out of control a while ago. Now they'll stabilize themselves with 16 minutes to go in the game. Boy, they can change tempo, can't they, Billy? They can play every phase of this game.
Well, they're great defensive quickness. Forcing North Carolina to throw a lot of lob passes over the zone, and then Houston adjusts very quickly.
Worthy. See that Mishaw's doing a great job on him. That's been one of the keys, is how he could play him. They actually had Drexler on him earlier in the ball game. Worthy. Look how he sees the floor. Off to Jordan.
Good defensive play by Houston. We're seeing some real quickness. They're getting in position on this zone very well.
You look at the statistics on Houston, you'd figure they're just a run-and-gun club because they've averaged 81 points a game, but you can see they can play the other end, too. 15-22 in the game. Boy, they go up Perkins and Worthy. That's an unstoppable pass. Jordan tried to use a glass. He's on follow. He went up against Brian Williams.
Well, everybody knows what a great rebounder that kid is, and not to block him out is the Cardinals' sin.
Jordan now with 10 points.
North Carolina goes back to man-to-man. Now let's see if this gets Rob Williams free.
Rob Williams looking for something to generate, and he can't seem to do it. Teammate Rose. Tipped up Drexler. Look at Drexler, and he is fouled. The foul will go on Worthy.
Good afternoon.
2 on James Worthy. Drexler working very hard. He was the Southwest Conference Newcomer of the Year last year and all Southwest Conference this year.
Here's Rob Williams going inside. Realize he doesn't have the shot. Dumps it out beautifully. Out to Rose, who takes that jumper himself. I'm really admiring Rob Williams' play. He's not having a big point production, and there we see the battle for the rebound. Drexler doing a good job on Worthy, but Williams is the kind of guy that if you look at his stats and you see the number of assists he had, 132 coming in, you know he's a good total basketball player.
Drexler now with 9 points, 4 rebounds. He's going to eat that towel, I think.
Well, here's one area of the game that Houston has not had good production. That's from the foul line, only shooting 65% as a team.
Double figures now for Drexler.
Good afternoon, Mr. Crone. The
Drexler,
time will be 4.
who led him in rebounding. Also, surprisingly, in steals, hitting 2 from the line. It's a 3-point lead, Carolina.
Good afternoon, Mr. Crone. The time will be 4:40.
North Carolina has really not gotten into the flow of their game the way they'd like to. Houston comes out now with a little bit different type of track.
Here's Williams giving chase along with Rose and Drexler also. Off to Worthy. Worthy goes up and catches that ball. He and Perkins, what a target they give somebody when you get into difficulty.
They really do now. Akeem's back in the ball game.
He's playing with 3 fouls. Olajuwon, number 35, the 7-footer. He's playing tough on Worthy and to shoot it over him, and he changed his shot a little bit. It's off of Houston, however.
Tough break for Houston. Worthy wanting to get that ball inside, but Akeem does an excellent job going straight up instead of coming down with a hand.
Very few times Worthy's had to change his shot when he goes up like that.
There's the push. North Carolina loves to use that lob, and Jerry, we've pointed it out before, but Sam Perkins is a guy they list at 6'9", but when you see the length of his arms, which is a 41-inch sleeve, plus the way he plays way above his head, he's playing at about a 7-footer, a 7'1" size.
And I'm not sure he's 6'9", Billy. That might be a conservative estimate. You look at the legs on him. That foul on Rob Williams is first. Jordan. Michael Jordan pumps it back up to a 5-point lead. He has 12 points. Jordan out of the Wilmington, North Carolina area compared to David Thompson before he came into school. He's a different player than Thompson, but what a player he is.
There's the one. Half-court man-to-man with a little bit of trapping by North Carolina.
Rob Williams, who was 0 for 4 from the field in the first half, continues to not find the range. Jordan, what a play by Michael Jordan.
North Carolina getting back to the fast breaking. I think they're going to find that they can run against Houston.
14 points. That's Jordan's average for the season. Inside. 14 minutes to go. 44-37.
Now North Carolina goes back to a 2-1-2 type zone. Always making you think.
Mishaw, that's a tough situation. It's off of North Carolina. Mishaw at 6'9", trying to shoot over Worthy. Could not do it. Houston will inbounds.
There's Perkins reaching his hands up and touched almost the bottom of the rim flange.
Nice play, but Drexler can't get it to go. Olajuwon follows. Still a tough break for Houston. Here comes Worthy. Here is something, it's a marvel to watch it. Big 6'9", but he threw it away that time.
Mishaw getting back again on defense. Boy, he's playing an excellent game.
That's 10 turnovers now against the Tar Heels. Rob Williams a little hesitant, and he walks with the ball. You can see his confidence shaken.
Well, what would be good for Houston to do is to try to set up Williams on some one-on-ones to get him into the flow of the game. The only problem is that Carolina keeps changing defenses, so if you structure the play for him, they may be in a different defense when he comes down.
Williams, the number 3 scorer in the history of Houston, trailing only Elvin Hayes and Otis Birdsong. But today, just not getting this point production. Broken up by Rose. Here's Williams. Oh, he overthrew it. Drexler, can he handle it? He does. Nice play by Drexler.
You know, and Houston pretty soon going to have to make a decision with Williams. He's not having a good game. They played so well with him on the bench in the first half.
Williams is 0 for 6 from the field, and he's also committed 3 turnovers. Mishaw leans in. Doherty, power move, but nothing doing. Rebound block. They've had the shots, and Guy Lewis just can't get the lid off that basket.
Well, you know, this breaks the all-time record for attendance, and Guy Lewis was in the other one also, the Houston-UCLA game down in Houston.
Houston 0 for 6 from the field. Worthy, power move, and now they have a 10-point lead, 47-37.
It's an important possession. Houston going to have to be thinking about another timeout here if they don't get a good shot off.
Rose out to Williams. And it goes Mishaw. Boy, he's had the shots, working hard, and he's fouled. Substitution, Buzz Peterson now checking into the lineup for North Carolina. Jordan will lead.
Mishaw, here he is again on the inside. Guy is doing a great job all the way around. He was 5 for 6 in the first half from the field, 1 for 1 from the foul line, 4 rebounds, 11 points. Just played an outstanding first half.
He made a quote this year. He says, I think I'm as good as some of the pros. Well, you haven't heard a lot about him. He did make the All-Midwest Regional team. He has 11 points, 5 rebounds, a junior from Worthing High School. He and Rob Williams are really tough competitors in high school. Worthing High School and Milby High School. No lost love, but now they're good friends.
Well, it's interesting that all of these starters come from right around the same neighborhood, so they knew each other very well and competed primarily on the playgrounds in the summer where they developed their friendships.
Elijah during the City Recreation League went against Moses Malone. He stepped on the end line, a turnover against North Carolina.
James Worthing does that often because he has those power moves on the baseline. He really has that frown on his face now.
Concentration, substitution. Jordan wants to come back in for North Carolina.
That's the second time today that a North Carolina player ran onto the court without totally reporting. That could be a disastrous thing for them in a tight ball game, and I'm sure the kids will be made aware of it.
What you're saying, they could get a technical.
That's right.
Buzz Peterson checks out. Houston now is 0 for 7 from the floor. Misha has had some excellent shots. That one will go, but I believe interference.
Oh, wait. Oh, that's going to be a foul. And Elijah coming over Perkins. How about the basket? It ought to count.
It did. I believe. Wait a minute. He started to indicate that. Yes, it will go to Misha, but this man has picked up his 4th foul.
That's another touch foul. Tough one on that kid. Here you see the ball going up. Perkins reaches in, and Elijah came over the back.
Nobody did touch it. It looked like they did in the live, but in the replay, it showed he did not. 14 points for Misha. A 6-point lead now for North Carolina. 11:15 to go. 46-40.
And 30 seconds.
Rose coming out, giving chase on Jordan.
North Carolina starting to surround that trap.
Gordy reach in. Rob Williams hits up play by this man. Rob Williams. Some talk about him going pro after this year, and he's fouled as he moves in.
Michael Jordan. I think it's going to be on Michael Jordan on the reach.
Good afternoon, Mr. Cone. The time will be 4.
That's who it's going to be on. You're right. It is Jordan, his 3rd.
Guy Lewis wanted a 2-shot foul there, but he would have been reaching a little bit. Jordan reaching in. It shows how hard it is to handle Williams with that dribble.
You know, Billy, you get the idea. They're going to put Houston away, but all of a sudden they battle back. The Cougars trailing by 6 now.
Good afternoon, Mr. Cone. The time will be 4.
Down to 10:40 to go, and one of the things Houston has to be concerned about is getting close to North Carolina. Start spreading that zone out and holding the ball a little bit.
Williams still looking for the first field goal. It's just not there. Excellent effort by Elijah and who's this one off of? It's going to be off North Carolina. Argument going on. Jimmy Black doesn't agree.
Well, what he's pointing to is he's pointing to the bench and saying, hey, those are the guys calling the play, ref, and just working them a little bit.
Good afternoon.
He is like a coach on the floor, isn't he? He even acts like one there. Out to Rose. Misha with 14 points. Rose, he's missed a couple from out there.
Outside shooting's really been suspect. No good motion on the shot.
Well, the man that they expect to have those is Rob Williams, not Rose. He's not usually shooting from there.
Here comes the spread by North Carolina.
Doherty after that slow first half has picked up 5 points in the second half. Back to an 8-point lead now for North Carolina in less than 10 minutes left in this game. Timeout is called by Houston. The Cougars, Guy Lewis, a team that started out trailing 14-0 by 2 at half. Now trail by 8. Houston, who's won 13 of their last 14 games.
But you don't see many guys with great outside shooting with that type of rotation.
Well, evidently that rotation's not on because he is 0 for 7 from the field. Rose to Misha. Misha was 16 points, and they're back within 6 points.
He never changes the expression on his face. He's played a solid game in every aspect today.
Be a great poker player, wouldn't he? 48-42. Black with Rose trapping him off to Doherty. Doherty's played so well in the second half. Into Worthy, power move against Misha. He gets in that deep, it's all over.
Now North Carolina is starting to attack the 1-3-1 as opposed to throwing the ball over the top of it.
10 points in the ball game now for Worthy. 50-42, 9:18 to go.
Rob Williams giving directions. You'd think he'd put that ball on the floor and get moving.
Look at the percentage, Billy. That is startling. 82-29. And that's the way Houston started the ball game, missing their first 7. Then they hit 13-19. Now they've gone back to what they don't want, not getting the bucket.
Williams not looking for the shot here. He takes a tough one. That's a difficult shot.
He's 0 for 8, but Michael Young saves it. Young, maybe the Now salvage that one. That's his first 2 points.
53.
50-44.
20 seconds.
Dangerous cross-court passing.
Houston would never believe they'd be this close without Rob Williams putting in his usual production. Worthy faking beautiful.
Worthy's isolated on that trap. And you get him the ball in there, which North Carolina did not do in the first half, and you're in a lot of trouble.
Houston in this game has 7 rebounds, I should say, this half, and all of them have come off the offensive board. Young, the left-hander. Rebound, Misha.
What's happened on those last 2 shots? That the normal rebounding position was captured by North Carolina, but the shot was so far off the mark that it went to the abnormal position.
I think Misha knows something. We're going to have a charging foul on Jimmy Black. He released the ball and made contact with this guy, Drexler. 8:03, that'll turn it over, 52-46.
Well, you can't teach quickness, and that's what Houston has, and they were very quick on that play, getting under Jimmy Black.
Black with 3 fouls, also 3 fouls on Michael Jordan. They're backcourt in foul difficulty. 52-46, less than 8 minutes to go. A lot of time yet.
A lot of time, but with that difficulty, you know that they have the ability to go into the 4 corners, and if they do that, they cut down the amount of time on that clock considerably.
Good afternoon, Mr. Crone. The time
Drexler from Sterling High School in Houston. Young, nice pass. Williams back. They're trying to generate something, but good defense by Carolina.
They packed that zone, Gary, inside the foul line.
Misha, nice tip that time by Drexler. Clyde Drexler. He can just jump out of this place. He has 12 points in the game.
Good afternoon.
And it's a 4-point game again. They come right back, 52-48. This Houston team hasn't been able to be counted out. Rose reach in, and it's off of Rose. North Carolina at the 7-17 mark will have it.
Said you can't teach quickness. How about Rose? He went about 20 feet to come up and get his hands on that ball.
You said it very well, Billy. They just have some excellent athletes. I guess everybody does at the Final Four, but these guys can move. There's the time. You see it in the lower right-hand portion of the screen.
North Carolina spreading out in that 4 corners right now, and they're going to make Houston run after this ball.
Well, you foresaw this coming, I think, after they picked up the 3rd foul on Jimmy Black. Gordy.
Now, in this particular freeze, it really makes the 1-3-1 run all over the court because there's already somebody open in the corner. Now, Houston's going to have to change their defense.
Oh, incredible.
A monster dunk.
He's made 2 plays. They're going to have to stop play because the net is hung up at the basket. He just powered his way in.
Here's James Worthy. This is a monster stuff.
And 10 seconds.
I learned something the other day. There's been research done. Here you see Worthy again at North Carolina State University that the shattered backboards are not caused by the rims, but caused by the fact that the glass is not in the proper plane. Very interesting study.
Boy, the way he put that one away, it looked like it might be the prospect for that kind of situation. Timeout is called by Houston. 6:34 to play in the semifinal game.
Good afternoon, Mr. Crone. The time will be 4.
Every time that they come up on that screen, the crowd is reacting, and they really react to that last stuff by Worthy.
North Carolina had been in a 1-3-1 zone. Now they go back to man-to-man. They almost change their defense anytime there's a timeout situation.
Young in difficulty to Misha, changes his shot, tries to follow. Look at this effort by Drexler. Off to Rose. Great hustling effort. Drexler is fouled by Worthy, and Worthy, he's sorry he did that one.
Well, Houston just out hustling North Carolina for the ball under there that time. They not only had the quickness, but they had the aggressiveness to go with it. Dean Smith has to be a little upset with it.
Well, he's got to be concerned. Worthy, with that foul, is the 3rd Tar Heel to have 3 fouls. Jordan and Black earlier in that difficulty. Drexler has played so hard, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. You mentioned during that timeout, Houston, very good position. You wouldn't know it by looking at him, but they're still very much in the picture. North Carolina, and it's foul difficulty. Houston from the line now is 7 of 10 after that miss, and a foul will go on Misha.
Drexler came from the side, left the line a little bit soon. Only a 59% free throw shooter, and you get down the wire now, you've got Houston, a 65% free throw shooting team. North Carolina, considerably better than that.
Billy, North Carolina this half has hit 11 of 13 shots. Just remarkable play, but still they only lead it by 5.
And they're not going to go ahead and maneuver that ball unless Houston breaks out to a man-to-man.
Less than 6 minutes to go in the game.
Let's see if Houston's going to go man-to-man.
Back to Worthy. Worthy having a little trouble finding the handle that time.
What's so tough when you chase 1-3-1 in this four corners and you double team, there's always somebody wide open.
And there was a good example, but they bring it back out. Worthy's able to draw the defense on him. Again, the time in the lower right-hand portion. This started now with 6:04. Let's see how long they set on the ball. There's nobody better at it than North Carolina.
Well, the thing that's interesting, if you're on the defensive end and you're behind, you've got to chase, but I think Houston's going to have to chase man-to-man. They cannot chase in a 1-3-1. There'll always be a man open.
Now, Lyndon Rose is orchestrating their defense right now.
Right, he's telling them to come out and pick up man-to-man. If they do that, North Carolina probably go into their offense.
There they go. Blocked by Misha. What a play. Larry Misha up and rejected that one. Lyndon Rose. Houston needs a basket, and Rose is taken over. And all of a sudden, it's a three-point game. 12 points for Lyndon Rose. 4:49 to go. One time that spread backfired, but you just got to give a lot of credit to Larry Misha. Here's Jordan. Perkins, he's fouled. The basket will count, and Misha has committed his second.
Can't fault Misha on that play. He occupied Jordan with good fake by the defense and then got back, not quite in time. Now here's Doherty going in. Was wide open when he made this move. Misha, who's had a truly outstanding game, comes in, not only makes the great block, gets in a position that Houston can retrieve the ball.
Sam Perkins, who was so brilliant in that first half, has 20 points. Only 4 in the second half, but he also has 9 rebounds. Three-point play, a big three-point play, and that is a career high for Perkins in NCAA tourney play. 91.
Back to the 2-3 zone. Might have been a walk. Drexler got by.
Young just did save it. Almost walked with the ball. Here's Rob Williams. That was kicked. They'll take it out of bounds. Jimmy Black kicked the ball. Houston will inbounds at the 4:19 mark.
It's an interesting call there. I don't know if Black intentionally went out there and hit the ball with his leg or whether it ricocheted off his leg. In either case, it's Houston's ball.
Rob Williams. He's been struggling, but his teammates have been taking up the slack. Here's Rose. Oh, play by this guy. Rose, a senior and captain with 14 points. And again, 57-53, 4 minutes to go. Houston just won't give up in this game. Perkins. Off to Doherty, the big man, Perkins and Doherty, along with Worthy, can handle it so well, can't they?
Well, it's nice to have big guys that can go up and catch the ball. Like in the second game, you've got a guy like Rodney McCray that can come up against the press.
North Carolina trying to move into the championship final for the second year in a row. Perkins just challenged him that time.
Mishaw doing the job, trying to hold him up out there, but Sam Perkins can put the ball on the floor.
23 points for Perkins, 59-53. Now with 3:24 left. Young trying to keep it alive as Drexler. Young to follow. Great second effort. The chase is on, and who's it going to be off of? Off of North Carolina. Great effort by Houston.
Houston's quickness is beating North Carolina to the ball. Guy Lewis says, I need a timeout. The clock's working against him.
And so he gets that timeout. In 67, they were third.
Benny Anders in the game now. Hadn't been in all game.
Anders is right here from the Louisiana area. He is number 33 with the ball, 6'5", a freshman. Here is Davis who's checked in also. Look at the stats we were just mentioning, 81%.
I think what Anders means is that we'll see full court man-to-man pressure.
Follow inside, Drexler keeps it alive. There's another offensive board.
And they've converted so many of them into baskets.
15 points for Drexler. Drexler just seems to come up with a loose ball. Davis picks up the foul, pleading his case, but to no avail.
Okay, team fouls.
That's the 7th, Billy. They're shooting them now.
And North Carolina has 5 on them, so that they will not be in the 1-and-1.
As far as this game is concerned, North Carolina's hit 7 of 9 from the line.
Houston won't be in that 1-and-1 even on the next shot. 2:45 to go. You can see what the case was. It's a very quick team out there now for Houston. A good pressing basketball team.
14 points for Michael Jordan. Jordan this year is shooting 71% from the line. A 5-point lead now for Carolina. Rob Williams will check back in for Houston. Going out is going to be Rose.
The time will be 5.
Now what we have here for North Carolina is something that helps you to win championships. When you make the foul shots over the course of the pressure situation games, you're in good shape. And for the NCAA tournament, as a team, they're shooting 74%.
They continue to shoot them well. 61-55. There's the time left. They don't have a lot of time to get into their offense now. They've got to get the shot up. And that's what Davis is going to do. No trajectory on that. Just a low line drive, and that's going to be a foul on Anders.
Kind of interesting that Anders and Davis, coming off the bench cold, would take too long outside jump shots. They're not really going to go ahead and make a comeback unless they're very lucky taking those kind of shots.
Guy Lewis now is going to send in Lyndon Rose, and Elijah Wan will come in with the 4 personal fouls. Davis will check out. They're going to take Misha out of there at the 2:31 mark.
What I think we're seeing right here from Guy Lewis is he wants a defensive club on the floor and an offensive club. So Elijah Wan will go down the other end from the offensive purposes, and you probably get people ready to substitute defensively.
Boy, what a game he's having. Look at the statistics on this sophomore from Latham, New York. Tremendous inside player, and they're starting to celebrate. Look at that hairstyle, would you? I don't think that's going to be in vogue very soon. His average in the tournament, as you can see, has been better than the seasonal average. He is now 7 of 7 from the free throw line, 63-55, 2.5. Elijah Wan, they collapse on him.
Williams ought to put that ball on the floor and try to penetrate and create a shot.
Williams still looking to hit from the field. There's Anders, the freshman, and he commits the foul. He's picked up 2 in a hurry.
Anders obviously a good athlete, but Rob Williams is the guy who needs to try to do something now. He hasn't had an offensive game at all today.
I'll bet you Rob Williams has never had this kind of day. He's 0 for 8 from the field.
Gary, I wonder about something right there. You know, we talked to him yesterday, and one of the questions, even in our case, that we asked him, Rob, how about the professional opportunity? He's just a junior. You wonder how much those kind of pressures weigh on a young man right now with the system being what it is.
Going to showcase his ability, and a spot fired on him possibly. Black with 4 points.
He's sitting there with his head down right now, and you know it's really weighing on him.
64-55, Billy. They're really moving out on this free throw line now.
And remember, Houston not in a 1-and-1.
13 of 15 from the line for the Tar Heels. It's a 10-point lead now. Drexler, and I think he's going to be called. No, it's going to be a foul on Black. That'll be his 4th.
What a good move by Drexler. Penetrate into the zone. Get something going.
Drexler is one of those kind of garbage players where he's talking about he goes in and gets every loose ball, puts it back up, tries it again and again until he gets it right.
You know, one of the things I love about coming to the tournament is, as most people know, this is the home of the National Basketball Association coaches. And last night I sat around about 2 o'clock in the morning talking about zone defense with Don Casey, the great young coach from Temple. And Casey, who is one of the big proponents of the zone, as he learned from Harry Litwack, said, the thing I hate people to do against my zone is dribble into it.
That's what he was doing.
That's right.
And 30 seconds.
Drexler at the free throw line, now with 17 points after those 2 hits. Now with less than 2 minutes, Carolina's going to try to let it out.
And 30 seconds.
Off to Jordan, blocked by Olajuwon. What a play by Olajuwon. If he hadn't been in foul difficulty, you wonder how many he would have had this afternoon. Williams out to Rose. Got to get the ball up.
Worthy out of position a little bit right now. He went for the steal.
Boy, there's some street basketball. Sandlot basketball that time by Rose. 65-59. Rose with 16 points. Houston still hasn't given up on this one. Here's Doherty. Trying to reach in as Rose. What an effort by Lyndon Rose. Trying to draw the foul, but no foul. Drexler.
North Carolina doesn't want to be fouled right now. They like to keep the ball moving so that they don't get fouled, so they don't stop the clock.
And there's a foul. The guy that can afford to take one, Brian Williams. The man they can't is Olajuwon, who's in here with 4. A minute 16 left. Next, Georgetown against Louisville.
That was a second great block by Houston on what looked like an easy layup. Olajuwon got that one, and of course, in the first half, late in the second half, Mishaw got one also.
Timeout is called with 1:16. Brian Williams out of Inglewood, California, visiting with 60-year-old coach Guy Lewis. Houston, the team in the middle of the year, who was really struggling, losing 5 of 6 here in the Final Four. Last Sunday, to be exact, in that Villanova game, remember? North Carolina hit 13 field goals in a row. Today in this half, they're 13 of 17. That's championship basketball.
13 of 17, and 2 of those were uncontested layups that were blocked. So, you know, they were right on the money on those 2 had it not been for great defensive play by Houston.
Jordan 3 of 3 from the line, and they just continue to put them away. 67-59. North Carolina now from the line has missed only 2. They're 15 of 17. Elijah Wan up against Perkins. And Jordan stepped out of bounds. It'll be Houston's basketball.
You can see again, Houston sending all 5 men to the boards. North Carolina's Doherty that time sensed it and went the length of the floor. All North Carolina have to do is tap it out. They have one down the other end.
Drexler, followed by Drexler, again by Drexler. Rose comes up with it. Great second and third efforts that time, and Rose with a nice touch off the glass. 18 points for Rose. 67-61, a 6-point lead. 49. You see the time left. Doherty, look how he can handle the ball at 6'8".
I kind of was hoping they would have passed the ball to Worthy on that last one, because Olajuwon and Worthy would have gone after each other on a dunk. That would have been fun to see.
North Carolina 30 seconds away from the championship game for the 2nd year in a row. Last year losing to Indiana 63-50. That should be a 2-shot foul.
In this very gym, Houston had one of the great winter tournaments when they won in here. Here's Rob Williams' stats.
17th in the NCAA scoring, and 2 points, and both of those coming from the free throw line.
You know it's got to weigh heavy on that young man, but they played in the Sugar Bowl Classic in here. Some of the best basketball the entire winter. They're off to some start.
You know, Williams got hurt here in that game. He hurt his wrist. Early in the year, he had orthoscopic surgery, but we asked him, he said neither one of those injuries were hurting him. 6 points now for Jimmy Black. 4 of 5 from the line. Well, there's one they missed, only the 3rd of the game.
Hey, that's the first time North Carolina got anything offensively off the boards.
68-61. North Carolina and Dean Smith now will be a step away from Dean trying to capture his first national championship in 7 tries. Steal that time by Williams. Rose, nice effort. A foul will go on Michael Jordan. Rose has been very, very good today for this Houston team.
Well, what Rose did is he took it to North Carolina. Williams played a rather passive game, and I think he's as disappointed as anybody possibly could be about his performance today. You can see the expression on his face. He's kind of looking around and wondering where it all went.
He had 18 points in this game, 12 of them in the second half. Well, North Carolina, you might recall, Billy, they won it all in 1957. They were 32-0. For the win today, they're 31-2. So, does that mean anything? Out it comes to Rose. Look at the effort by Rose again, and that will end it. And North Carolina's headed to the championship game Monday night. 68-63, the final. 31-2 is their record. They have won 15 in a row. As Dean Smith is on the doorstep once again. He's been there before. This is the 4th time he will be in the championship game.